What's going on, family? Ashe and Otep to all. Welcome back to the Ep channel. It's your boy Zach Taylor here with another topic of conversation for y'all. Today we're talking about building financial foundation, road to financial literacy and financial freedom. Something that's very, very important to every single human being on this earth. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for all who have been tuning in, all the subscribers. I thank you for the support and love. Please, if you guys have been enjoying the content, before we get further into this, like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Let me know what I need to be talking about. And ask questions, of course, if you feel like you need more in-depth information about some of the things you hear me talk about, whether it be on this topic or any of the previous episodes that I've done thus far. So today, again, like I said, talking about financial foundation. So I'll be hitting you guys with a couple questions, a few statements, and some principles to help you understand how to have a financial foundation, as well as what some steps you can take to better secure your income. Time is money. Neither can be wasted. Neither time nor money can be wasted. Remember, time is money. But yet we don't understand either. A couple questions I want you all to kind of sit on for a bit. Who taught you about money? It's very, very important. Most of our philosophies and beliefs are not our own, but they're borrowed from other people, not just on money, but in other things of life as well. So who taught you about money? That's the first thing. Second, what do you know about money? So we got a who and we got a what. Who taught you about money? And what do you know about money? Next is the how. How much of it has a deciding factor on how you live your life? What is money to you, and what is your relationship with money? Is it bad? Is it good? Do you perceive money as a bad thing, as something that's evil, a work of the devil? Or do you consider money, like the wealthy do, just a tool to get you from point A to point B? The average American does not have a monetary foundation. More so just exporting money with no base that will always keep money in, diminishing their only asset, never thinking about or knowing how to gain more assets. Marcus Garvey stated that if you properly invest 25 cents a day at 9 p.m. or 9 a.m., by 6 p.m., you may have 50 cents. What was the first way you learned to double your money? Probably gambling for some people. Others, it may have been building a fund for their oldest child. And for some people, that may seem too complex or out of reach in the moment, but it can be very simple. We always have to start small with big goals and then work our way up to more bigger and abstract goals. So if you're someone who's looking to build a fund, a college fund or a savings fund for your oldest child, start off with just $7. I think most of us can sacrifice $7 out of a weekly or bi-weekly paycheck. Well, what are you doing with this $7? Well, you take $5. Your child will take $5. This is their allowance of $7 a week. $5, they can do whatever they want with it, but the other $2, they have to pay you back, the parent, in rent. The $2 of rent should be deposited to a savings fund or an account for your child when they go off to school, or whatever you want that money to be saved for, their first car, first apartment, a business, whatever it can be. But now you have been securing a fund, a savings fund, an emergency fund for your child when they reach adulthood to do whatever they want with it. Again, whether that be the tuition, car, or an apartment or business. One rule that I have shared with many of you all is the banker's rule, also known as the rule of 72, right? This is a rule that banks should be teaching us, but they don't, right? This rule shows us and tells us that with your interest rate, so every bank has an interest rate on an average about of less than 1%. So the rule of 72 teaches us that whatever your interest rate or the rate of return that you're getting on your money, you divide that number by 72, and the number that you come up with is how long it takes your money to double. On average, most people, their money is taking generations to double. A dollar is taking generations to double because the rate of return is so low, not even 1%. So with that information, I would strongly encourage that you find other resources and money tools to put your money in so that it can grow. If you get a weekly, bi-weekly paycheck, always pay yourself first. Something that has been said and stated to us most of our lives, especially as kids, by our parents and school teachers, but it's very serious. Pay yourself first. Emergencies can and will happen, and you must pay yourself first to always be able to make up for those situations that you just don't see coming, right? You are your greatest asset. I talked before about many Americans are diminishing their only asset, never thinking about knowing how to gain more assets. Well, your biggest asset is self. The biggest asset that any job has is not the inventory of products and services, but the people who distribute those products and services. No business or company in this world would flourish if it didn't have the people to distribute their products and services. So, not your home or your vehicle, but you are your greatest asset. So treat yourself like you are your greatest asset and pay yourself first. We must establish 3 types of savings: an emergency or immediate fund, a long-term fund, typically for retirement, and then a personal or short-term savings account. Having these 3 accounts will always put you in position to have money for whatever situation that comes up. If you're constantly putting money away towards an emergency fund, well, that means within 3 to 6 months, if something is to happen, you can now take care of it through your emergency fund. You're planning to retire in the next 25 to 30 years, or you're planning to save up for your kids' college fund. That's what a long-term goal would be that you're putting money towards. And then a personal goal, something short-term. Maybe you want to take a vacation to Cancun within the next 6 months to a year. You plan for that accordingly. Again, you put money into all 3 of these pots accordingly, systematically, you'll never be hurting. We just have to systemize how we handle our money and where we're putting our money. 5% of Americans experience financial shock due to lack of having an emergency fund. This is why it is important to have one. Many of us have situations that happen on the fly. You got to, have something fixed on your car, right? Or you're without a car. Now you have to get a rental. Well, what happens if you've never been saving for an emergency fund and that situation pops up? You are now in a state of shock and stress because you have to figure out where you can get this money in a fast amount of time. But if you have been planning for it for the past 6 months, it's not a stress to you at all. You just keep going about your day, keep going about your week, and keep going about your life because you have been planning, building a financial foundation. Generate a cycle of spend and save, spend and save. So that means every time you make a transaction and receive the difference, save some of it. So if I'm buying something, some products or whatever from the gas station, and it's a total of $7, and I get back $3 because I gave the cashier $10, well, then I need to save at least $1.50. Out of the $3 I get back, I need to save $1.50. And over time, that $1.50 becomes $3, and that $3 becomes $6, and that $6 becomes $9, and $9 becomes $12. Next thing you know, I have, an emergency fund of gas to put in my tank if I don't have the extra at the moment in time. But because I've been saving $1.50 every, $3 cash back, I got an emergency, gas tank fund. We just have to prioritize, y'all. We have to prioritize our money and what it's going towards so that we're never without and that we're never stressed. Lastly, I want to explain the difference between a savings account and a mutual fund. Savings account, like I mentioned with the banks, the interest rate is very, very low. So the rate in which your money is doubling takes a very long time, and it's not doubling a whole lot. So for those of us who look to retire and stay retired, most financial experts will tell you to invest in a mutual fund account or a Roth IRA so that your money is doubling at an exponential rate and that you actually have adequate amount of funds for retirement. Savings account, that's good for just having money sitting. But if you want your money to grow for the long term, well, invest in a mutual fund account, Roth IRA, things of that nature. Speak to your local exchange and securities representative, someone who's in finance, someone who's in investing. Speak to someone who's in that field that can help you out with investing long term. And when it comes to just a savings account, just keep, simple $500 to $1,000 in there. Anything more than that, I would be, especially if you're looking for it to grow, look for the long-term investing markets. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the cash flow quadrant, right? Going back to establishing a financial foundation. Well, as an employee, you're constantly trading time for money. For those of you who don't know, the cash flow quadrant is something that's been illustrated by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, as well as he authored a book called Cash Flow Quadrant. Left side of the quadrant, you have your employee and those who are self-employed. And on the right side, you have a business owner and the investor. On the left side, where the employee and self-employed persons are, that's where 90% of the people are in this world, but only 10% of the money. Whereas on the right side, where the business owner and the investor are located, well, there's only 10% of the population, but that's where 90% of the money is. Now, you tell me, or you ask yourself, where would you like to be, on the left side or the right side? I would like to be where there's less people and more money. More money to go around and less people to talk about it with, and for it to be dispersed amongst, right? But we got to decide which side of the cash flow quadrant do we want to be on. Do we want to be employees? Do we want to be self-employed, right? What's the difference between the two, right? Self-employed, right? Both between employees and self-employed, if you don't work, you don't eat. But at least with a self-employed person, they can control their time and how they spend their time. But what sucks is if they don't work, they don't eat. On the other side, as a business owner and investor, you have systems in place working for you where you have passive income. And if you don't work, you don't touch a product, you don't talk to a client, you don't go out into the field, you're still making money. Now, for some of us, we're not meant to be business owners and not meant to be investors. Everybody should be investing even a small amount, but that's not everybody's forte. However, I will say, if you will stay on the left side of the quadrant, being an employee or self-employed, have a business in place. Do some investing so that you can have passive income. Because if you're making 100% off of one and not 1% off 100, you'll forever be a slave to money and to the career that you have. That's what I have for you all today. Build a financial foundation, you all. Learn some of these financial concepts. Build 3 types of savings: immediate, long-term, and personal savings accounts. Pay yourself first. Spend and save. And understand your relationship with money. Grow your mindset when it comes to how you look at money and how you view money. Because if you always look at money as a negative thing and the root of all evil, you'll never fully master money and the money game and learn how it works. So change your mindset, change your habits, and thus your money will change and grow for you and work for you as well. That's all I have today. Please, again, if you guys like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment in the comment section anything you want me to go more into detail about, as well as anything that you feel like I should talk about that wasn't mentioned in this video today. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Again, shout out to all my subscribers. Please, again, let me know what you guys think. Ashe, Otep. See y'all.